Hello, my name is Las Chicos, and I was asked to introduce an area of study we call Socio-Cultural Studies of Sport. Along with my colleague, Dr. Adam Love, we study the role of sport in society, and I have about a couple of minutes to tell you about it, so hang on. We study relationships between society, culture, and sport. And for that, we draw on insights from philosophy, history, sociology, cultural studies, and others. At the basic level, we ask, what is the role of sport in society? Why do so many people take sport so seriously? And what does it do to these people? In other words, why do we do sports the way we do? And could we do it any differently? Our colleagues study sport in relation to a number of topics, including children, deviance, violence, gender, race and ethnicity, social class, age and ability, media, politics, high school and college sports, and religion. One course that all majors in recreation and sport management will take is RSM 335, Socio-Cultural Foundations of Sport and Recreation. Among the topics that we discuss in this class is the role of race and sport, and that is certainly a hot topic in recent years. We might do an activity where we ask you to find your place on a spectrum from agree to disagree. For example, a statement might be, black people are naturally faster sprinters than white people. Do you agree with that statement? Do you disagree? Or do you think it depends on certain factors? Another statement would be that white people are naturally better jumpers than black people. Do you agree or disagree? And how about this statement? Norwegians are naturally better in winter sports than Americans. Now, you may not know actually that much about Norway or winter sports, so a little bit of background here. Norway is about the size of California. But when compared in terms of population, the United States and Norway differ quite a bit. And yet, when it comes to medals in the Winter Olympics, the United States has about 216 total medals in over 20 Winter Games, and Norway has 280 total medals. So how can it be that such a small population outperforms the United States, a power in international sports, in the Winter Games? Well, you might look at some of the conditions there. They have lots of snow, a long history of success and role models. At a young age, kids are encouraged to participate and take part in the cultural heritage and pride and identity that Norway has built around winter sports. So it might not be a surprise that it turns out that they create performers in this sport. The reasons why some individuals and groups of people dominate certain sports are complex. We cannot simply look at the environment where people live and draw conclusions. For example, lots of snow in the Nordic countries does not determine their success in skiing. Similarly, the success of Kenya's long-distance runners is not simply an outcome of living in high altitude. Otherwise, people living in similar conditions elsewhere in the world should perform just as well. There are no simple cause and effect relationships here. So generally speaking, we look at the cultural and historical contexts of Norwegian sports to understand why they're so great in Winter Olympics. We don't look for biological reasons necessarily. We don't think that there's a gene that allows Norwegians to slide down a hill faster on skis. But when it comes to African American athletes and black athletes in general in sport, we have a long history of looking for biological or genetic reasons why some African American athletes are so good in some sports. For example, Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals in the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin that were taking place under the Nazi regime. And upon his return, he was almost literally dissected to find out what allowed him to be so good. And with that, we begin to unpack statements like black people are naturally faster sprinters than white people, as we look at the socio-cultural factors that we would take into consideration when we begin making sense of why we do things in sport the way we do. Well, I hope you now know a little bit better what socio-cultural studies of sport entails, and we're looking forward to seeing you in one of our classes. Go Vols!